Hey guys, Eddie here from Deline Property, and today I'm doing a quick video to show you a strategy that I have used myself to help grow my portfolio. So I'm 26 years old at the moment. I have 13 investment properties that I own and that I rent out in my portfolio. And this strategy here, it has a lot to do with using equity from one property to purchase more properties, ongoing. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. And bear in mind that I've done this a few times, but I've saved up a lot of genuine deposits by working lots of jobs and working my ass off as well. So let's just say I was starting all over again from scratch and I had no properties. And even if you're someone that watching this video and you might be wanting to get into property investing or build a portfolio and purchase properties for your future to, reach your financial goals, this is a strategy that I've used as well. So let's just say you're starting off a person starting off and you've got $30,000 in savings from that starting point, and you've got a borrowing capacity of $400,000 or $500,000 roughly. I like to stick with the basics, and there's lots of variables of course when purchasing property, but I like to stick with the basics. And for a lot of properties that I bought myself, I've stuck to properties that are around $200,000, $250,000. It's even some worth $100,000, but between $100,000 and $300,000 purchase prices that I stick to. For this scenario, we'll just say we're picking up a property for $200,000, right? And for me, one of the big things and how I've grown my portfolio over the years, so quickly from starting from scratch, is buying properties that are below comparable sales. So buying properties like bank repossessions, off-market properties, price reductions, those kind of things. So every property that I want to buy, I want to get a bargain. I want to buy it below what its actual value is. And a lot of people think that's very hard to do or it's impossible, but it's very, very achievable, and I do it all the time. It comes down to a lot of different factors and that kind of thing, but let's just say, if a seller needs to sell their property really quickly, and there's the agent who they usually list it with will recommend either a price reduction or maybe it's a bank repossession or whatever it is. But let's just say a lot of the properties that I pick up for myself, say they're $200,000, they've got comparable sales in the market, ones that are selling around the area for similar quality for $230,000, $240,000, $250,000. So if you pick it up even at just something for $200,000 and it's worth $230,000, well, then you're making $30,000, pretty much by buying it. So here's a quick example. Say you've got $30,000 in savings, and for this scenario, we pick up a property. We've done the facts, the figures. We've purchased a property for $200,000. We've got $30,000, and we did a 10% deposit to pick up a property for $200,000. Right? So our loan on that property is $180,000. Loan, $180,000 loan. So I used $20,000 out of that. $20K out of that. $30,000 I had to purchase property for $200,000, and I probably spent another $10,000 in stamp duty, legal fees, pest and building inspection, other expenses, etc. Right? So had $30,000, bought a property for $200,000, have a loan on it of $180,000. This is where, so you've got the property, and let's just say that property rents out for $300 a week. So $300 a week, and it's worth you bought it for $200,000. Let's just say, you fast forward, say 3 months, 6 months, I've got to revalue properties that I bought within a month or two. It really depends. There's a lot of variables. It depends on what bank you go with, what size deposit you use, and then how you get it revalued as well. So there's lots of variables, but this is the basics behind it. So I've gone back. Let's just say there's comparable sales selling for $230,000 to $250,000, and let's just say we get this property valued at $240,000. So the new value is $240,000. And then what we do, we wouldn't use the equity in that to borrow a full amount for your next property, you've got to release the equity. So the equity is free in your account. It's technically classified as cash in your account. And how you do that, you do what's called a loan top up. So you borrowed this property at 90%. So you could get a new 90% loan of the new value at 240,000. So you probably got 240,000. You get 90% new loan of that. It will make your new loan 216,000. So 216. Need a new marker. This one's not doing the job. So your new loan's $216,000. And how you work out how much money you're going to get out of this is if you got your new loan 216, you minus your new loan with your old loan. So your old loan was 180 and your new loan's 216. So that means you're getting $36,000 out. So 216 minus 180 means you can release $36,000 worth of equity back into your account. Now, if you do that at a 90% lend, of course, you're going to have to pay your lender's mortgage insurance. So they might actually take, for the purchase price, which is say for a property that's 240,000 LMI, you might pay 2,500, 3,000, 4,000. Let's just say 4,000, and so you got 32,000 back out in your account. And say this whole process, sometimes you can do it as 3 months, 6 months. Sometimes it might be 8 months, 12 months. It comes down to what deposit you use, as I said, and what bank you go with. But essentially, you got your deposit back. Started off with 30. You bought a property for 200. Got it valued at 240. Done a 90% loan top up. Right. Old loan was 180. New loan's 216. You're still getting your $300 rent to pay that off and pay the associated expenses. And now you got your 32,000 back out in your offset account. You can put it in your offset account, so you're not paying the interest on it. Or you can take it out, have cash, make it rain, whatever. But yeah, you got 32,000 back out of the property, and then you can go buy another property for 200,000. So go buy property number 2. And you can just keep doing this again and again if you buy right, if you do it, the right way. Not cross-collateralizing your portfolio together. That's totally different to releasing equity. Releasing equity is doing what's called basically like loan top up. Your loan will increase. What a common thing that happens is if you say you purchase your first property 200, your loan on it 180, you get it valued at 240. So then the bank technically says you've got say 60,000 between that and that worth of equity. You've got 60K worth of equity. Then what a lot of banks do is say they're like, yep, no worries, go purchase your number 2 property, go find it, you go find it, and then say that number 2 property is $200,000, 200K, they'll use the equity, which is 60K in your first property, to keep your loan at 180. They'll keep your loan at 180. It's valued at 240. But then they'll say, we're going to cross-collateralize your property, or they would say cross-collateralize your property, but they would just say you can borrow 100% of that property value, and then you would borrow the full amount of 200,000. But then what that does, which a lot of people don't explain the ins and outs, it crosses your loans together. So this property, the loan of 180,000 is a cross for this one because you purchased a property for 200K and your loan's 200,000 as well. So that's what I would recommend not doing. And as I said, not financial advice, but I've done this before. But the downside is, say you've got 2 properties and they cross together. If this one goes up to 300,000 or 400,000 and you want to sell this off, so you want to get rid of your first property, right? Because your second property, the LVR on that, which is loan to value ratio, is at 100%. Say if you sell this first property off, you made some money on it, you made 150K on it. So you're going to sell your first property and get 150K out. If you sell that because it's low, because it's crossed, say this property, say it only gets valued at 200, then they're going to take, say, money from that to put against that property because your loan's at at 100%, and you can't just have one property with a loan at 100%. It's got to be within the LVR restrictions of that bank and that lender. So yeah, that probably you can get it confusing really quickly, but if you have any questions, we'll go through it. I'll do some more videos and explain the ins and outs in a bit more thoroughly, but this is a simple strategy that I've used to go from one property to the next property and continue buying. But yeah, not cross-collateralizing properties together. That can get you stuck. It's not, don't do it. You can always get them uncrossed later if things, go well, but I have got stuck before with cross-collateralization, so that's something to, I guess, be wary of. But yeah, if you have any questions, send me an email and we'll catch up in the next video. See you guys. Bye.